This is the Geoff and Gena show. This is Berkeley Jeff.
And I'm Berkeley Gena.
We're going to be reviewing the widespread effects of Silicon Valley Bank on the whole woke media agenda.
So, Jeff, the Bay Area has been busy last week with calculating the cost of the mushrooming financial crisis since the FTX fallout this December, eh?
Yeah,
this past December.
That's correct, Gena. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank placed the entire banking system in jeopardy. I understand that the California governor lost at least 3 company accounts.
3?
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Wow.
See so many people become homeless in your state while you're in charge.
Yeah, a lot of people became homeless, and it seemed like he wasn't checking until it came to chickens came home to roost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who else is lost big other than Credit Suisse?
Well, Credit Suisse is a Swiss bank being bought by UBS for half the value and twice the aggravation. I understand that SVB, that Silicon Valley Bank, sold for $1. Just $1. After all those billions that went through that bank, they sold for $1. It sounds like that trading places bet, you know what I mean, where people in power are willing to ruin your life over $1.
It's all about $1. Remember that RoboCop thing? I'll buy that for $1.
You don't remember that?
We can't forget Signature Bank.
Wait. Remember the paper boy from Better Off Dead who kept chasing down, he kept chasing people down for the $2 for the paper? That's what they remind me of. Where's my $2? At least he wanted $1 more than what the bank sold for. And can you imagine just being chased down for $2?
Yeah, I know. See, now we can't forget Signature Bank.
Okay.
That failed as well. So no one has stepped forward to save them. Well, you know what? In fact, there was a New York bank coming in there to do something. It's questionable.
They haven't come back yet with the final proposal, right?
Well, there's a final proposal, but is it large enough and is everyone into that?
It's never enough. It's never enough. Obama got in trouble for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
$700 billion later. You know what I mean?
It was still hurting.
He's still getting in trouble.
Also, First Republic Bank, I think that's in danger. Someone came in with that after a rescue plan was revealed. The stock plummeted, so the parachute still didn't open.
That was what First Republic Bank, right? Yeah. This is I understand that that Silicon Valley Bank had the opportunity to focus on protecting its assets with inflation targets in place in an environment with rising interest rates. Now, Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, was not interested in finance because the bank just put its focus on pushing a woke political agenda rather than protecting the interests of their clients and their investors.
Well, Gena, SVB had 1 banker on the board and 4 former Obama administration supporters, or ended up in the administration, with no banking experience on their board. Their positions were ceremonial at best. Democrats are routinely against big banks, but in this case, they embraced criminal banking to the hilt, to the tune of billions. Raising questions about when the bank failed.
It failed when they opened. Their woke political agendas, you know what I mean? It's a failure. 12. It's a jury of 12 board members, and 4 of them messed up all of them. So I agree, Jeff. The 12 members of the bank's board of directors were supposed to prevent the disaster. We have to wait and see why it unfolded so quickly like that. SVP's board of directors was appointed with Democrat insiders who watched the bank collapse after depositors rushed in to withdraw their money. Well, of course they were going to rush in to withdraw their money.
Now, some people got their money withdrawn first, before it collapsed. You got to look into that.
Sounds just like FTX.
Yeah, very similar. Now, due to the lack of diversity and transparency, the bank's board is being looked at closely as federal investigators try to determine what went wrong with the bank's management.
It was lack of diversity. It was Obama administration heavy. That's what it was.
And no one else.
And no one else.
No one else looking after the cookie jar. They put themselves under scrutiny and have no one else to blame.
Yeah. According to the Renewed Right, which is an online publication, they said, quote, stacking the board of directors with Democrat insiders was part of the bank's strategy and could have played a role in its collapse with its laser focus on woke initiatives. So, the opposition is taking note of the mistakes made by the Obama-Biden administrations, and they see they were distracted while the country was under attack by hidden congressional Democrats.
That same magazine, that Renewed Right, also stated that everyone knew it was the go-to bank for woke CEOs, a source told the New York Post. They knew that they were aligned politically. The company's SVP loaned money to all had a woke agenda. The board's lack of a background in banking could be an area of concern for federal investigators. Now, who should be concerned more, Obama or Biden? Republicans are thinking it's Obama because a former Obama administration official, Mary J. Miller, served on the bank's board of directors. According to her resume, Miller joined the Obama Treasury Department in 2010 and became a political star as she climbed through the ranks to land a position as acting Deputy Secretary of the Treasury.
What? Well, wait. Miss Miller found her way to Silicon Valley Bank and joined the bank's board in 2015 after resigning from the Obama administration, and the rest is history. The Renewed Right has identified her as the mastermind who implemented the massive banking reform package signed into law by Obama, the Dodd-Frank Act that created the regulations that Silicon Valley Bank operates under. It's easy when you have connections to the Secretary of the Treasury. That's not the Commerce Department. That's the IRS, ATF, FDIC, and the Federal Reserve Bank, to name a few. And that's not by accident that she was put there. Either on the board or in the Treasury. She was put there in those positions for a reason, because she was supposed to be at that bank making sure people got their loans on time.
Apparently, or certain people, whatever. She knew what she was doing. You remember the scandal surrounding her bid to run for mayor of Baltimore in 2020?
I do remember that.
She tried to launch a political career and became riddled with questionable agendas that followed her from her days at the Treasury. The Renewed Right simplified the conflict of interest and stated a political action committee supporting her campaign sent an email to donors explaining that her path to victory was targeting white voters in the majority black city while hoping to two black candidates split the black vote. She wanted to divide the black vote and conquer the white vote with fear of a black planet tactics.
Yeah. Black voters never saw her coming because she used Obama like a mace to crush heads and make a path. I'm sure the white voters saw through the smoke and mirrors. Now, there's Kate Mitchell, another board member who was a major donor to Hillary Clinton's failed 2016 presidential campaign. That's when Trump got it, because Hillary was a bad candidate. According to the Renewed Right, they stated, quote, in the aftermath of Hillary's loss, Mitchell claimed she prayed at Shinto Shrine in Japan over Donald Trump becoming president. Mitchell told CNBC, quote, I prayed for me and us to get beyond our grieving and shock and to figure out how to engage and listen to what happened and come back together. Huh? End quote. Prior to Trump's 2016 victory, she celebrated that 97% of big tech political contributions were going to the Clinton campaign. Sounds like these Obama gals like to hedge their bets to get what they want.
Yeah, there's another board member, Garen Staglin, who is a mega donor for the Democratic Party and a neighbor of former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, a California Democrat who lives on and off in San Francisco with her hammered husband, Paul, and his husband, David.
David's the woman.
Well,
he identifies as a woman.
He does identify as a woman.
Yeah, so David's the woman.
Yeah. There you go, right here.
So you know Garen Staglin. You know Garen Staglin has seen stuff going on in that Pelosi house, and he keeps his mouth shut because he knows Castro rules. What happens in the Castro stays in the Castro until Paul drinks too much Napa and Sonoma Valley wine.
Looks like we have to stay tuned during the fallout from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Democrats have a lot of explaining to do, and it's going to be a major opportunity for power players in the Democratic Party to come clean about FTX and experiment with currencies that aren't fiat and backed by the state.
Well, until next time.
I'm Berkeley Geoff.
And I'm Berkeley Gena.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.